back to Undisputed Interviews. Today's guest is number 14 ranked UFC prospect or contender, Grant Dawson. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir, man. So my first question for you is, how did you get into the MMA and the UFC scene, and like what did you see that really made you want to pursue this and become a professional fighter?
So when I was younger, I've grown up with dyslexia,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Same, same,
wasn't
same,
very.
same.
You're dyslexic too,
Yes,
dog?
sir.
Bro, that's awesome. Well, it's not awesome. I feel really bad for
Yeah.
you, but that's cool that we have something in common with that. Uh, but basically, it was just it was kind of not knowing where I wanted to go with my life, and I thought I wanted to play football. And if you know anything about me, I am terrible at football. Absolutely god awful. Like my little sister's probably better at football than I am. So that was kind of just a pipe dream. And then one of my buddies invited me over to his house to watch Rampage Jackson versus Rashad Evans, and it was the
Mm-hmm.
first fight I'd ever watched, ever seen. And I was just like, man, I want to do that for the rest of my life. Something just clicked in me, and it was like, I want to be a world champion at that. I want to do that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm a boxer. So I found out from my old boxing coach. He invited me to the gym for like a watch along. I forget what fight. Oh, I believe it was Caleb Plant versus Canelo.
Mm.
I was like, this thing's cool. And then like that next weekend, or like not long after, it was Sandhagen versus Dillashaw. So I was like, bro, I want to do both. But I think I'm not gonna do no MMA. I don't want to get choked. You know,
Getting
scared.
choked is way easier than getting punched in the face. Trust me.
Yeah, I've had both. I kind of like getting punched in the face a little more. I think it's just like it makes me a little more like, all right, I can. Yeah, I don't like getting choked.
You're crazy, my guy.
Thank you, bro. I mean, my mom doesn't like it though. Shout out my mom. She doesn't. But obviously you're ranked in the top 15 of lightweight alongside your teammates Dustin Poirier, Mateus Gamrot, and Renato Moicano. How do you think the current state of the UFC lightweight division ranks or compares to the generations like the Khabib generation, the BJ Penn generation, and like do you think it's the best it's ever been?
Well, I definitely think that the athletes are the best they've ever been. I definitely think the fighters are the best they've ever been. As for the lineup itself, I'm a little disappointed in the guys at the top not fighting the guys behind them. I think almost
Yep.
everybody in the top 5 to top 7 have gotten a shot at the title, and almost all of them have failed. And they don't really want to they don't want to expand. They don't want to fight guys behind them. They only want to fight guys ranked right next to them. They're trying to protect their ranking. They're trying to get as big of fights as they can, which I totally get. I totally understand. They want to get paid. They want to make money, but you got to let the business move forward. You got to
Yep.
take on the Patty Pimblets. You got to take on the Grant Dawsons, the BSDs. We saw guys like Dustin Poirier. He was willing to fight backwards. A lot of people think Justin Gaethje was willing to fight backwards, but I kind of disagree. Him fighting
Yep.
backwards was him fighting Fazeev on 11 days' notice, a guy that he's already beaten before. It doesn't make any sense. I'd really like to see Justin Gaethje fight Patty Pimblett or myself or Mateusz Gamrot, but I just don't think he wants any of those problems.
Yeah, I think you're completely right about that. I know, for example, when Poirier versus Holloway 3 got announced, a lot of people were like, "Why?" Poirier's beat him twice, and I kind of thought that at first, but I think it's just timing. I think
Yeah,
for some like the Poirier versus Gaethje 3, even though they fight each other twice, it's still 1-1. So I think that's a little more interesting.
yeah, but it at least makes a little bit of sense for Dustin Poirier. He's not holding up the division.
Yeah,
He's saying I'm gonna have one more fight and then leave. So that's it's not a Dustin Poirier thing. It's just it's a weird situation where you got guys like Michael Chandler ranked number 12, and he's such a big name that he kind of gets to pick and choose his opponents. And I don't think he's going to fight anybody that doesn't have a million followers. So it makes it hard for
yeah.
guys behind him to be able to either one prove that they're not ready or use him to prove that they are ready.
Is that why you want to fight Chandler? Because you saw the likes of Patty Pimblett do that, and it's like, all right, if I can beat Chandler, that shows I'm like really elite. Like if I can
Well,
get that win.
yeah, I definitely think it shows that I'm elite, but I also don't think I think everybody's one little nitpick of mine is that I haven't beaten anybody currently in the top 15, and they're right. So I'm doing my best to find the guys. I've called out BSD. I've called out Michael Chandler. I'm down to fight these guys. These guys are not down to fight me. Um, I get it. I'm not a huge name, and I'm a huge risk. I'm a really good fighter, but I don't have a million followers or a bad haircut, so people
Yeah.
aren't jumping on board to fight me. But you got to fight somebody at some point, and that somebody should be me.
Yeah, I mean, do you find it weird? Because if I'm not mistaken, Fiziev doesn't have any wins inside the top 15. He beat RDA, but RDA isn't at lightweight anymore. I think that's his best win. He fought Gaethje twice. I mean, I think one thing people want to see was him versus Poirier, and I was a big supporter of that. I think Poirier would have smoked him, but like,
Yeah, that I agree with you. I think that's what it is. But I actually think that Baha Mundez is going to beat Fiziev. I could
bro,
be wrong. Fiziev is a great
ooh,
striker, but
yeah,
I think the size and the length difference with Baha Mundez is going to be too much. Now the travel might be something that gets him into trouble, but
yeah,
I don't see a lot of guys beating Baha Mundez that don't know how to wrestle. I think that he's going to
yeah.
lose to a lot of wrestlers and beat pretty much all the other strikers.
I'm
So
strikers.
we'll see what happens there. I would love to see Baja Mundez win, get some new blood in there. Hopefully Fiziev gets out and I move up, and then some of these guys are willing to fight me.
Are you willing to fight anybody? Like, if Sarukian was named, do you even though you trained with him? Is that someone you take just because of the ranking?
I'm not going to fight anybody that trains at ATT unless they have the belt. If Arman Sarukian wins the belt,
Yeah,
I'll be super happy for him. But that's been my dream since I was 15 years old. If he doesn't have the belt, I really don't have an interest in fighting teammates. These guys are my friends. I've helped him
yeah.
prepare for the Charles Oliveira fight. He helped me prepare for my Joe Selecki fight. We have helped each other train. I wouldn't say we're like best friends or anything like that, but there's a level of respect there and a level of teammate camaraderie there that unless he has the championship, I don't have an interest in fighting Moicano, Gamrot, Dustin, or Armand.
Yeah, I think I know in the past Dana White's had that problem with Aljamain and Marab, but I think it's a different situation because Marab was ranked one and Aljo was the champ. With you, it's like, you're at number 14, Moicano's like I believe 8 or 9, and then he's fighting Dariush and Poirier's like not Poirier's 6, and nobody from ATC is a champion. So I understand that unless it's for a belt, like you said, then I don't think teammates should fight each other. It just like you don't gain nothing from that unless it's for a belt.
Yeah, and let's say we do fight each other in 6 months, everybody's going to forget about it. It
Yeah,
doesn't really, it puts his career back 2 years or my career back 2 years, and it doesn't really matter at the end of it. Now, if they have the belt, that's a different story. I love these guys and I want to train with these guys, but if they have the belt, that's a different story. As of right now, they don't have the belt. I'm not interested in fighting them.
yeah. And I think we just need to put a PSA out there, man. I'm number one Dustin Poirier Glazer. I've loved Dustin Poirier for years and years and years. I have like 5 shirts of him. So, y'all need to stop disrespecting Dustin Poirier because he's going to come out here and he's going to crack Max Holloway's chin. So, yeah, don't hate on Dustin Poirier, guys.
He's already beat him twice, so I can't imagine that he doesn't get it done a third time.
Yeah, and he's never lost 2 fights in a row, and he got a robbery loss. He was beating Islam Makhachev. Islam fluked it.
I had a 2-2 going into the fifth, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I had a 3-1 Islam, but like, it was.
My
I'm gonna be
guy.
real. I ain't gonna. I'm real. I had a 3-1 Islam, but like, yeah, I woke my whole house up screaming at Porter, get up, bro. I'm literally gonna cry if you lose. And, it was a sad day, bro. It was a sad day. But yeah, I love Dustin Porter. He's cool. That's like my dream interview.
Yeah, man, he's a good dude.
Yeah, I mean, let's get back to you because you are the guest. Your last fight, your last fight was Diego Ferreira at UFC 311. In my opinion, it was one of your best performances. I think a lot of people were expecting. I was seeing a lot of people saying Ferreira by TKO, Ferreira's gonna win, and then you went out there and, for the most part, dominated. Is that how you saw the fight going into the lead up? You were like, I know I'm gonna come out here and dominate this dude and really show that Ferreira's just not on the level anymore that he used to be.
Yeah, Ferreira's got a lot of good wins, and he's got a lot of he's made a lot of a lot of really good guys look not so good. Even the guys
Yeah,
that beat him don't beat him the way that I beat him. And I'm not stupid, man. I know he's older, he's getting up there, but that's not my problem. That's not my fault. I have trouble finding fights, so as soon as somebody says that they're willing to fight me, I'm gonna jump all over that. I don't care what they're ranked or how big of a name they are. I think a win
yeah.
over Fajeda is a very good win, and I'm very proud of that win, and definitely proud of the way that it happened. So I just I hope that my next one I'm able to get somebody that proves that I'm on that level. You know, I want to fight somebody top 15, but I don't want to wait. So if it's outside the top 15, I'm still gonna take the fight, but just like I want to get something going.
Yeah, this might be a silly question, but Mauricio Rufy called out Chandler. Would you fight Rufy, and the winner gets to fight Chandler?
Yeah, I'm down to fight Rufy. I'll fight him, but it's not really like it's not really a roofie thing it's just I need to fight, you know. I'm not waiting for roofie, that's for sure. I'm not gonna wait another 6 months. I need to get 3 fights in this year, and one of them is gonna be BSD at the end of the year.
I think we should do Dawson versus Hooker. Who says no?
I'm in. Let's go.
Let's
Let's
do
go.
Dawson versus Hooker. Is that? Do you think that's a winnable? Like, do you think that's easier than Michael Chandler? Because obviously, most of Dan Hooker's losses are by submission because he get out grappled. You think when you look at that, that's the easiest way into that top five of the division?
Yeah, I think beating Michael Chandler and then fighting Hooker would definitely be a much easier road.
Yeah,
BSD is a stud. You know, BSD is going to fight me from bell to bell. I think I can make Dan Hooker quit. I know I can make Michael Chandler quit. And even if they don't quit, it's not really going to matter. I'm gonna take them down. I'm gonna beat them up
yeah,
for 25 minutes or for however long I need to get them to submit.
yeah. Because I believe like a lot of Hooker's losses are by submission. I think. I mean, obviously he got submitted by Makhachev, but he's been out grappled. Even Poirier. Um, I believe Hooker said that he got put to sleep by Poirier in a guillotine and woke back up, or something weird happened. I don't know if that's true, but that's what he said. So that was crazy.
Yeah, it seems like he struggles a lot with good grapplers. I'm definitely a bad matchup for the guy. I thought Gamrot beat him, and I know he didn't get his hand raised, but I thought Gamrot won that fight 2-1, and it was on short notice in Australia. So I kind of give Gamrot a pass on that one. I know these guys probably don't, but I definitely give Gamrot a pass on that one. Right now, for me, I know that Hooker's not my next fight. I know that Chandler's probably not my next fight. I'd rather focus on who actually is going to be my next fight, and so that's
Yeah,
kind of what I'm preparing for.
yeah. That I won't lie. A lot of people were sleeping on that Gamrot Hooker fight. A lot of people thought that fight was gonna be boring. That fight was one of the fight of the years. That was an
Yeah, it was a
unexpected
great fight.
bang.
Great fight. Both guys got dropped. Both guys submission attempts. Both guys really fought back and forth. Really, really good fight. I feel bad for Gamrot. I feel like he is in really good fights and he's in really exciting matchups, but for some reason just kind of gets labeled as a boring fighter. I don't find him boring.
Yeah, I mean, even in the Hooker fight, I think he dropped Hooker twice. Once with a jab and once with a lead hook or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And
That's the funny part. Imagine dropping somebody twice and still losing the fight. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I personally thought that first round was almost a 10-8 because he dropped him twice. Then I believe Gamrot got dropped in the second, like a flash knockdown, and then that third round was competitive. I thought Hooker won. I'm not gonna lie, I did think Hooker won. I ain't gonna lie, I only said that because he won me money. So like, shout out.
Fair enough. Hey man, fair enough. At least you're honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was sleeping on Gamrot. I was like, man, Gamrot's boring. And then after that fight, I was like, nah, Gamrot's cool. I like
Yeah,
Gamrot.
no, Gamrot's cool, man. Gamrot's cool. He's definitely not boring in my opinion.
What is your opinion on the fans' perspective? All wrestler fighters are boring except when it comes to Makachev or when it comes to Marab, who does the same
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, I don't really believe them. I think that they're just talking to say something. If they really believed what they said, kickboxing and Muay Thai would be the most popular sports in the world, but it's not.
Facts.
It's
Yep.
MMA. These guys are always saying like grapplers are boring and grappling is boring. There's a sport that is specifically designed for people who actually believe that. I think that a lot of people say things that they don't mean all the time, and that's fine. Say whatever you want on the internet. You're not gonna
Hmm.
hurt my feelings. I've got pretty thick skin. I don't really care what people think about me. So if you think I'm boring, don't watch. If you think Gamrot's boring, don't watch. But the numbers show that the UFC is the best combat sports um, provider in the world. You know, kickboxing organizations have all gone out of business. K1 is all of these big kickboxing and Muay Thai tournaments have all gone out of business because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, people don't want to just see striking; they want to see everything.
And now boxing started, have its downfall again, starting to become corrupt. So,
Yeah,
I mean, MMA is the only sport that's not corrupt at this point when it comes to like combat,
I
like
would I
karate,
would agree with that.
karate combat.
Yeah, actually, Karate Combat's kind of fun too.
It
But
is. I haven't
we'll
watched
see
the
how
full
long it
event.
sticks around.
Yeah, I haven't watched the full event, but I watched like highlights. Like Sam Alvey, I've watched his highlights, but it seems cool. I like it. Maybe I do it. I don't know. I'll think about it. I do it. I do it. I fight Mike Perry.
I bet you won't.
I can't in karate can't in karate combat. I probably get cooked, but I try.
Get my man.
But I mean, let's say obviously, let's see. Obviously, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway is for UFC 318. Is that a card you want to get on? Poirier is going to be on it. I was gonna hopefully Gamrot or not. Gamrot's a fight, but is that something you want to be on? Maybe you open the main card and Poirier closes the main event. And you both get the wins, and it's like you guys do what you both fought on the 302 card together, right? You fought Joe Selecki on that card. Is that something that you would want to do again? Fight with Poirier on the same
Yeah,
card?
absolutely. I love Dustin Poirier. I love training. I love it when we can share camps. It's really nice being able to see somebody that's fought at
Yeah.
the highest level and see kind of how his camps go. So I'm definitely down for that, man. I don't care what card or who's the main event or who the opponent is. I just want to get this going. I want to get a fight announced. I want to get something lined up, and I want to start working uh towards breaking into that top 15. And maybe it's on a Dustin Poirier card. I'm in on that. Maybe I get the main event, another Apex show. I'm in on that too. Whatever it is, I don't really care. I just want to get it going.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter. Someone was like on your Instagram live and they said something about it on Twitter and they're like I think the UFC doesn't want to give um Grant Dawson Michael Chandler because he lost to Bobby Green and Bobby Green isn't on the best win streak right now. But like at the
Mm.
same time, it was like in my opinion, it wasn't like it was a loss, yes, but it was like the fight didn't really start. It was just like one mistake
Yeah.
ended the fight, and I think 100 out of 100 times you probably beat him. It was just like a lucky shot, kind of.
Well, I mean, I don't really, yeah, maybe, but I don't think the UFC is thinking about that. I don't think the UFC is turning me down from fighting Michael Chandler. I think Michael Chandler is turning me down from fighting Michael Chandler. I think Michael Chandler doesn't want to fight anybody that doesn't have a million followers.
Do you think you do what he did? Do you think you would do what Patty did, or probably worse?
I think I do way worse to Michael Chandler. I think unless he knocks me out in the first minute of the fight, it's going to be one of the most one-sided ass whoopings we've seen in the sport. Now he's got a lot of power. He's very explosive early, but we've seen jujitsu guys be able to take him down pretty easily. I got to imagine once I get in on his legs, this fight is over.
Yeah, he doesn't have that good. I believe Poirier took him down twice. I believe Poirier
And
got some
submitted
good
him.
shots and submitted him. Yeah, the first
Yeah,
dude. Crazy how Poirier submitted him, but Patty couldn't. It was or Charles couldn't either.
yeah.
That's like
Charles couldn't submit him, but Poirier could. Dustin couldn't knock him out, but Charles knocked him out. Like it's crazy. He just
it's
finds
it's
it.
a weird
He
it's a weird world we live in sometimes.
it's not a weird world we live in. He's a weird dude. He finds ways to win. It's not a then thing. It's a Chandler thing. He
Yeah,
finds ways out of fights. He finds ways to lose. He finds ways to end up with another L against his name, and then he calls out Conor McGregor, who's never going to fight again, and he says, "I'll see you at the top." And it's like, I'm trying to see you at the top, dog. We're ranked 2 spots apart. Let's fight each other.
I'll see you at the 12th floor.
Right? Exactly. Take the
See you at the,
elevator, dog.
yeah, I'll see you at the 12th floor. You're ranked 12. You're gonna stay at floor 12. You ain't gonna get to no floor or you stay at floor 3. You're not gonna get to floor 1 or whatever.
I hear you, dog. I got you. I got you. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously the month before Moicano's fighting Beneil, the main event, Elite Sporia, Charles Oliveira, lightweight title. Are you surprised that Islam vacated the title after saying he wouldn't, that he would hold it when he goes to fight JDM?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. I think to be honest with you, I think Islam would have vacated the title whether Bilal had won or not. I don't think that he's as loyal as he claims to be to Bilal. I think that he's unable to make 155. I've seen this guy. I've been next to this guy during fight weeks. He is massive, and it looks like his cuts to 155 are just god awful. And I
Yeah,
feel bad for him because, man, as somebody who used to fight at 145, I know what a terrible cut that makes you feel like you're dying. I know what that's like. So, if moving up to welterweight is what he has to do to keep fighting, I agree with him. Go. I don't want to beat Islam Makhachev. I just want to win the belt, and I don't care who it's against, whether it's Ilya, Charles, uh, Islam. I don't care. I'm not after the win. I'm after the belt.
Yeah, I think that's funny you said that you don't think Islam is as loyal as to Bilal as he says he is, because Buckley said that same thing. I don't know if you saw the tweet, but right what like literally like the minute Bilal lost, Islam Akasha tweeted like time to become double champ and like and new inshallah, and Buckley was like pray on your own brother's downfall. It's crazy work, and
Yeah, man. I'm sure that they like each other. I'm sure that they go to the same church, and that's great. But when it comes to who's number one, I think Islam really only cares about himself, and that's fine. That's I'm not dogging him for that. If I just all I'm saying is I think that if Bilal had won, he still would have gone up in weight.
I've wanted to see that fight too. I did want to see Bilal versus Islam. I ain't gonna lie, I was really cheering on Bilal because I wanted to see Ilya versus Islam. But the second he lost, I just blocked him on Instagram. I was like, "Yeah, you let me down, bro. You done. Get off my nah. You done."
Damn,
I
fucking
was like,
brutal.
"No," because I was telling everybody, "Wow, Bilal, we gonna remember his name," and then we forgot his name. So then I was just like, "Gotta go, bro. See you in the Apex." Have you seen those memes about the Apex?
Uh-uh.
It's like there's like this dude named Bedtime MMA. A lot of the UFC followers like follow him or fighters following him on Instagram. But like he makes jokes about like Aljamain Sterling and Bilal Muhammad because he thinks they're boring. And when they
Hmm.
lose fights, he'll like, I'll see you in the prelims of the Apex because a lot of people don't like the Apex card. So it's like a joke for like wrestlers.
Damn, I'm gonna be in there one day. I know.
I think he made a couple. No, to be fair, he did make a joke about you the other day. I was like, nah, Grant Dawson, we gonna see him in MSG one day.
Yeah, maybe,
You
maybe. That's
know?
funny though.
Yeah, you should check him out. I can send you. He's a funny dude. He's really smart about MMA too.
Yeah. Well, if he's dissing on me, I'm probably not gonna follow him.
Nah, he's not dissing. I don't think he. You know, I think he likes you.
Okay.
I would hope. I would hope. I would hope. You're a cool dude. But I mean, you're still young in your career, right? You're not. You're. I don't think you even really hit your prime yet. I think when you look at your past performances, I think there's a lot more performances for you that could come. I mean, if you look at Poirier or you look at Oliveira, Oliveira, when he was your age, wasn't doing too good. He was just on that win streak at lightweight, and then we seen what he did in the older years, beating the likes of Poirier, Gaethje, Kevin Lee, Tony Ferguson, beating all those type of guys. So like this far in your career, what is your proudest moment that you look back and you're like, I'm like I did that in my career at this like early stage?
Um, Yeah, that's a good question, man. A lot of people forget about it, but I'm pretty proud of the Demir fight. I think Demir is a really really good fighter, and no disrespect to him, I made it look easy.
Yeah.
Uh, I also am very proud of my last fight. Once again, I feel like Diego doesn't get the credit that he deserves. I think Diego is a very very underrated fighter. He's beaten a lot of really good guys. He beat Mateusz Rembetsky, who is a very phenomenal fighter.
Oh,
So
I forgot about that one.
yeah, he's got some really good wins, and I feel like people kind of just discredit him because he's more of a journeyman. But being able to beat these guys in the way that I'm beating them, I'm actually really proud of those two performances. And I will say the Hoffa Garcia fight was one of my favorite nights. Doing the fight went great, and then talking about my
The
wife's
post fight.
ass afterward was a lot of
The
fun.
post
Got a lot
fight.
of notice about that. So probably those fights are my things that I
Yeah.
think about the most when I look back on my career so
Y-
far.
Yeah, that's funny you brought up the Rafa Garcia fight because that was the day there was a storm in Florida. So my power was out and I was in a hotel.
Hmm.
And I was like, man, no matter this power goes out, I'm gonna watch these fights. And I ain't gonna lie, I picked Rafa Garcia because I was like, last time Grant Dawson fought like a really good power puncher, it didn't go too good. And then after like that first round, I was like, yeah, Rafa Garcia's cooked. I ain't gonna lie. I was like,
Well, I'm
all
glad you
right.
lost money.
No, I didn't bet on that. I didn't bet. I was too
Oh,
young.
okay. Oh, you
I
just pick
wasn't
it.
allowed.
Okay. Okay.
I
All right.
wasn't
Fair enough.
allowed.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah. But now I know. Bet on Grant Dawson. Always bet on Grant Dawson.
Unless I fight Bobby Green.
Oh yeah. You know, I think you got it. I think you got the rematch. I think you got that rematch.
Well, I hope so. He's like almost 40 now.
Would you be open to that?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Why not? Me and
I think
Bobby
it'd be
are
cool.
cool, man. I don't have any ill will towards Bobby Green. I don't think the UFC wants to see that. But dude, I told you, if it's not Gamrot, it's not Moises, or excuse me, Moicano. The answer
Yeah,
is yes. You know, if they send me somebody that doesn't train at ATT, the answer is yes. If it's Bobby Green, cool. If it's Roofy, sure, whatever. If it's any of these
yeah,
guys, BSD, hopefully it's BSD or Chandler.
yeah. I was on your Instagram live yesterday. You said Friaz Yam, and I was like,
Mhm.
nobody's calling that dude out. That
I'm down
dude.
to fight him.
Yeah, that's why. Like when you said that, I was like, all right, yeah, Grant Dawson really will fight anybody. Because even
Yeah, I
Malcolm
mean,
Boomer,
well,
like they'll be
it
willing to
makes
fight him.
sense. He's on a 5 fight win streak since coming back to the UFC. I'm pretty sure most of his fights are finishes, except for maybe his last one. But it makes sense. He deserves a top 15 guy. I'm top 15. Let's get it going. I just want to fight, man. That's it. You
Yeah,
guys are worrying too much about what
the
the name
opponent
is and what the show is. Just get me a fight.
need to be like that. I think the people at like, especially the people at the top of the divisions at lightweight or at featherweight. A lot of people at featherweight are fighting each other. Like the whole Volkanovski Holloway 3 thing. Ilya wanted to fight Volk again. But I feel like the top dogs need to be like, all right, if I want to stay a top dog and get that title shot, I need to fight the dudes that are on the way up to show that I can hang with the big dogs and the little dogs or whatever it may be. I don't know how people look at it, but
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
I mean, how many amateur fights did you have? I know some people don't have amateur fights, but
Yeah, yeah. I was 8-1 as an amateur.
8-1. Did you ever like I know like some people like ATT, I'm sure there's amateurs at the gym that'll come up to you and be like, "Hey, like I'm about to have my first fight or I'm about to fight for an amateur title. Do you have any advice for how to handle the nerves, how to handle if I feel uncomfortable in the fight? Like what is your advice to the amateurs for MMA or boxing, either or, if they ask you for advice, like how do I handle the nerves? How do I handle the spotlight? How do I handle like it's a belt, it's a tournament. Like I don't know what to do. I'm nervous. Like what would you have to say to them?
Yeah, a good question. I think the answer, I can't speak for boxing because I've only competed in wrestling and MMA, but
Yeah.
the answer is that there's no like advice that I can give you that's going to make the nerves go away. Like
Mm-hmm.
the only thing is you can just be more experienced. I've got a load of experience. I still get nervous before every fight. I still feel sick to my stomach before every fight. The best advice I can give you is just try to remain calm, right? Don't be running around, don't be acting a fool. Just the more you try to remain calm, the better it'll be. Panicking never makes a situation better, ever. Not once. So trying to
Yeah.
remain calm and just realizing that it's part of the game. If you don't have nerves when you go fight another human being, you're not alive.
Yeah, I asked someone at my gym for advice right for my first boxing fight, and they're like, "You have really bad ADHD, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Just be ADHD, and you'll forget about the fight. You'll literally just be being crazy, and then they're like, all right, go fight, and it will be like nothing." So I did. I just like sat there and like watched cartoons. Like I don't
Yeah,
know what I did. I just like was watching stuff, and then they're like, "All right, kid, go." And I actually did well. You know, I won, so I'll take the W.
there you go.
You
Good
know,
shit, man.
appreciate it. You know, I'm trying to get back in there, but you know, I can't. I mean, I'm inconsistent nowadays. But I have like you talked about the whole wife thing with the post-fight press conference. When you got backstage, did your wife say anything? Which because I know some people would be like, "Man, why you embarrass me like that?"
No, she didn't have anything to say. She's a tough cookie and she knows that I love her and she knows that I'm just joking around. But nah, she was cool with it.
Did you
She's good
expect it?
hearted.
Did you expect it to get the social media attention that it did?
No, I mean, yeah, maybe a little bit, but not as much as I thought it would. Honestly, once it started getting uh super shared and kind of going a little viral, I thought that I was gonna get a couple more followers off of it, but I really didn't blow up as much as I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I think it was like the most like I think it like landslide everything else on that card for views was. I
Yeah,
believe it
I mean,
did.
and that's cool, and I appreciate that. I wish it had
Yeah,
gone a little bit better, but we'll see, man. We'll
you
see.
know. I don't know, you know. I guess try it again, maybe. I
Um,
guess.
I'll try something. We'll see what happens. I got to get a fucking fight first.
Yeah, dude, you gotta come up with how Moicano has the "We Want Money" thing. You gotta come with like your own catchphrase.
I want fight.
Yeah, exactly. You know, ATT be like, "We want whatever."
Right, right.
Well, you know, I got one more question for you, man, and then we can
Okay.
wrap this up. do you have a message for your fans that have supported you throughout your career and followed you even before the UFC or once you got to the UFC? And what can we expect from Grant Dawson both inside and outside the octagon in 2025?
Yeah, my message to my fan is go fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Yeah, I really
I was like,
appreciate the
Jesus,
support. Obviously,
Sean
uh,
Strickland.
obviously, we wouldn't be able to do this without the fans. So,
Yeah.
so thankful for the people that have supported me and pushed me throughout my career. It's really a blessing to live the life that I live.
Yeah, I think a big thing that for me since I became a fighter is being grateful for being able to compete because a
Right.
lot of people get their careers cut short with injuries or with a brain bleed or a broken hand that's like, it just whatever. I think a
Mhm.
lot of people aren't grateful for like, oh, I'm a combat athlete. I get to enjoy what I do and do
Yeah.
it for my family.
Yeah, man. Be grateful for every moment because you
Yes,
never
sir,
know when it's going to
absolutely.
end. You never know when it's going to end.
That's really true. All right, man. Everyone, that was Grant Dawson, number 14 ranked UFC lightweight contender. Watch him beat Michael Chandler and BSD later this year. And then after that, he's going to beat Charles Oliveira. The title
Oh,
run
man.
starts now for Grant Dawson. Appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate it, brother. We'll talk soon, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.